Hey everyone, this is Kyle, and I don't know if you know this or not, but a few years ago I actually wrote a book all about my travels to different Disney parks, and so what better place to sell it than at the D23 Expo, which is the ultimate Disney fan convention. So I'm going to be heading out to Anaheim in a couple of days for that, but before I get there I want to show you kind of how I'm preparing for such an event and what I've learned from the last time I did this, and just kind of show you the whole process of preparing to sell your book at an expo or a signing or a trade show or what have you. So one of the biggest things I learned from my experience at the expo last time was to create a flyer ahead of time that you can give out to people, because it'll save you a lot of time, a lot of breath, and a lot of heartache. So I just created a flyer for this event. I'll show you what I did and what I like about it. Alright, so this is the flyer I made. I actually did this in InDesign, which is what I use to lay out my book as well. So this one was a little bit of a challenge because we have 6 books that we're going to be selling, so I had to find a way to fit everything on there first of all. So first at the top I have our booth number, I have our logo, and then for each book I gave just a few bullet points so people can quickly read through and see what the book is all about. And then I also have pricing on here so people know how much it's going to cost if they want to come back and grab our books. And then this are friends of ours, so they're actually going to be printing the flyers for us at no cost, so they get a shout out, and we're also doing a contest with them where they're going to be sending some traffic to our booth. So the next thing you want to consider after your flyers are made are how you're going to actually get your books to the event. Now there are a few options here. We actually have a FedEx business account, so that's how I'm going to be sending mine. It's nice and easy. I can print off the labels at home and just drop them off at the store. However, in most cases the cheapest way to ship your books will be media mail through the United States Postal Service, but keep in mind they're going to have very specific rules about what you can send, so be sure to review all of those so that you don't violate them. Another option is, if you don't already have a supply of books that you're going to be sending off, is you can actually just order them directly from whoever your printer is. So in my case, CreateSpace, you can just order them and have them shipped directly to the hotel. Speaking of hotels, you'll definitely want to call ahead and find out exactly what their policies are on holding packages and shipping packages to them. They might have specific instructions for how they want you to fill out the label, like putting your name and the date you're checking in, or care of, and things like that. Another thing to keep in mind is if you're going to be reusing any of your boxes that you already have, so you can see this one's kind of beat up, so I might want to upgrade it to a different one. But if it is sturdy enough, make sure you remove any labels that were on it beforehand, because the Postal Service or FedEx, or whoever you're using, they don't like to have extra labels on there because they don't want to scan the wrong thing. I've also labeled my books with the name of it, which hopefully should be okay. That'll help us when we get to Anaheim, since we're going to have so many books on sale. Alright, so now my books are shipped, my flyers are printed, my bags are packed, and there's only one more thing to do, and that's get to California. Alright, so I'm now at the hotel right next to the convention center, and all of our packages arrived, and as you'll see in a minute, there are quite a few of them. So you can see we have quite a collection of boxes here. I have a couple of friends also selling their books with me at our booth, which is a helpful way to save a few dollars on the booth rental. So some of these were sent straight from CreateSpace, other ones were shipped, some of mine were shipped from my apartment, and I know some of my friends were also shipped from his apartment, so everything made it, luckily. So one thing I will say is, if you do call the hotel to ask them questions about their shipping policies, make sure you write down the person you talk to, because we ran into a little bit of a snafu here when we first arrived. So when my friend called to confirm that they were able to hold packages and everything at the hotel, the person on the phone told them that that was not a problem, and told us all the things like make sure you send it to the guest name, maybe put the date that you're going to arrive. And all of that was kind of true, except that it's not actually the hotel that was holding them, it was the FedEx location, which would be fine, except that the FedEx was trying to charge us fees based on the length of time that the packages were there, and I don't know what the factors were exactly, but it added up to $150. Luckily, my friend was able to talk to the manager here at the Hilton, and they were very accommodating and fixed everything and waived the fee for us. But just make sure you write down who you talk to, so that it gives you a little bit more leverage in these conversations should anything go wrong. But thankfully we got it resolved now and saved ourselves $150 on that one. So that's about it for tonight, but I will take you along tomorrow as we load up our booth for the D23 Expo.
So we now have our booth set up, and as you can tell, I'm already like starting to lose my voice a little bit. So on that note, one thing I want to talk about is the importance of having a flyer. So the first year we were here, we actually didn't have any flyers on the first day, and we quickly realized that we were spending way too much time explaining what our books were about. People didn't have something they could take away and review and just consider coming back. So be sure you make a flyer. And then I also made these like tiny URLs, so if people want to get the book on Amazon afterwards, they can do that. And that actually, based on last time, we did see a spike in sales after the expo. So people were, even if they don't get around to buying them at your booth, they might buy them online afterwards, which still benefits you. So the other thing we tried to do is add some more eye-catching things and things we can engage people with. So in addition to our banner and a poster with some different photos from various Disney parks that we've covered, we also have these stickers, which are different Disney sayings. And so it gives you a chance, if people are kind of hanging around the booth, get them, come take a sticker, give them a flyer, and let them set off, and hopefully they come back. It happens more often than you might think. Another thing that helps sell books.
Cars drive on
Cute kids. So the show floor for the 2017 D23 Expo just closed. So as we wrap things up here, let me just give you a few tips based on what we learned here today. First of all, organization really helps. Labeling all of your boxes clearly, that's something we actually succeeded in. The second thing is one area where we actually could have improved, and that is making it clear that we are the authors of the books, because people like to buy signed copies of things. So we ended up putting out a sign on the third day. We probably should have put it out earlier that had our pictures on it, so that it is kind of fun to have that thing like, oh hey, this is actually my book, and then people kind of light up. But it's probably better if they see it from afar and realize that you are the author, and that might make approaching them a little bit easier. And then lastly, I just want to talk about sales technique. Now, the way we approached it, we kind of got into the groove where if someone was just kind of browsing, we give them like a little bit of time and then kind of explain what we were doing, and just kind of, let them read what we had, maybe jump in a little bit, and just kind of play it by ear. But some people, like to be a little bit more aggressive with their sales techniques, and if that works for you, then great. But for us, we definitely took a more passive plan of attack for that. So, whatever works. So now we got to load out, which means we need to pack these boxes up, take them back to FedEx, because we do have leftover books, unfortunately. That's kind of the downside. But overall, the expo was great and we did really well. So I hope that if you end up taking your book to a trade show, that some of these little tips help you along and let you learn the ropes. So best of luck.